To my dismay, I come in to my whole home smelling like gasoline and wondering, hey, I wonder if the race summit is leaking fuel again. I did do a little bit to clean the sled up. I painted the exhaust pipes just a little, just to keep any more rust from accumulating up on there. Of course, I had to make sure everything was shiny and running right from when the crew got here. Yeah, really good fuel leak on the race summit here. Come into the garage smelling like gasoline and finding a nice big puddle under it. Now, this is probably what caused the entire fire in the first place. It was just a matter of us going in there, replacing all the burned out lines. And really, there was no way for us to tell what was leaking until after we got all the repairs done. So you remember me pulling out the motor and doing all that fuel pump work? Well, it's going to come out again. So funny enough, I can't find a carb rebuild kit for this thing, but a fuel pump rebuild kit is $10. Super fun for me that I get to pull out the engine again. Not that it's a big deal, because it's really not. There's no coolants or anything in it. It's like unplug 4 things, a couple of hoses, 4 bolts, and the engine will come out. And what I'm going to do is what I should have done the first time around is relocate that fuel pump. I didn't relocate the pump to the place I should have relocated it to last time. Because I had in my head that I'd be finding the airbox for this thing, and then all of that would be obstructed, and I wouldn't be able to throw my fuel pump in there anyway. So I said, well, whatever, we'll throw the fuel pump back in the bottom of the chassis underneath the engine where it's nice and easy to service. So it won't be a problem later. It'll never leak. We'll be good. I'll do that all off camera. You guys don't got to worry about that. I'll take care of all that stuff. And you guys don't have to watch me pull an engine a second time. So I will move that fuel pump to a much more serviceable location now that I know I'm going to have airbox space, because what I'm going to be doing in that zone is just popping in some pods. I already have one of them. It was on the phaser at one point a long time ago, but I removed it. Each one of those intakes will get its own pod, and that'll be that. That's actually a very common way that it used to be done on these. Especially with that aftermarket hood, there's no way for that stock airbox to be compatible with this intake anyway. As well as this engine, I don't think it was ever supposed to be in this chassis. So the easiest way there, just pop on some pre-filters and a couple of pods, and that'll be that. At the end of the day, it was the fuel pump leaking fuel, probably caused the issue in the first place. And once we get that fixed, and I moved the fuel pump to the place that I should have put it last time, then we'll be good. And that'll make that pump a bunch easier to service when it leaks for us next time. Though I cannot find carb parts for this unit, I can sure find fuel pump rebuild kits. The fuel pumps on these are actually kind of cool. It's kind of like a dual stage pump, so we'll actually have a look at there when I get into it next time. In the meantime, there is a couple of things that I can repair up, tie up a couple loose ends before next video, figure out the wiring on a couple of things, figure out what the deal with the headlight is and the tail light, and what wiring harness I'm actually using and which wires need to be repaired, because ultimately it could probably do with a new wiring harness, but I'll get into that. I'll see how bad it is and I'll just repair it, because next video I would like us to just receive the parts that we got to order, and then we button it up and the sled's done. I'll pop that new shock in that one side, the one that came with the unit when we got it, because the one side is actually sagging pretty bad, and then I'll button up that hardware. It'd be really nice to find a tack for this thing. It has a speedo, but I don't know why. It has no tack for some reason. I also ended up taking the pyro gauges out of it. I know how you feel about that, but we're not going to run pyro for now. There's a few more things I'll be working on, like the tether. I think I have one of those somewhere in here. The lighting switch, I don't even know if the lighting works or if the wiring harness is any good, so the smash switch I'm not really too concerned about right now. The headlight, in fact, may not even fit in the unit due to clearance with the headlight port and the cylinder head of the engine. I forgot to do it last video, but what I'd like to do is a quick cost breakdown analysis on our $250 snowmobile purchase. It still smells like gasoline. Okay, so for this, I'm not counting coolants, fuels, oils, no expendables, no shop supplies, nothing like that. Okay, so for the snowmobile itself, we paid $250. Had about $40 worth of different fuel lines I used that I had to order. I used about half of what I ordered, so $20 there. The new fuel tank grommets were $6 for the two of them. Actually, up to where we are now, this is all that I have installed into it. Various hood latches came out to $40. I think I ordered more than what I needed on that one though. With the intake pods, I already had one of them, so I put another 2 on order. The 2 of those with the pre-filter for the snow is gonna be $121 there. Trailing arm bushing kit, $6. Fuel pump rebuild kit is $10. So all of that is on order, and then I just need to run down to the wrecker here just down the road. We will definitely have the parts in stock, Sled Parlor, for a rear bumper, which will be like $80, as well as a fuel tank hold down strap, which will be like $20. So if my math doesn't suck, and it might, I did take applied. Ben sat right next to me. So we are $553 whole dollars into this build so far, including buying the snowmobile. That's not bad. Everything else for this unit is either already here or on order. So I only want to put away this unit for a short amount of time because I want to get in the habit of just finishing builds. So let's just put this thing away, but only for maybe a week or so, maybe a little bit longer until we get some of these other parts there. And once I get the rest of the parts here, I'm just going to finish it. So besides everything that's on order, I just have to run down the road and pick a bumper. And until then, let's pick something else to work on. The repair direction I actually decided to go with my Alpha is taking a little bit of a different a left turn. So yeah, not quite what I talked about in our podcast yesterday with that thing. As for the future of the sled, I don't really know, but by the end of next video, we'll have it cleaned up, polished, repaired, 99% complete, and completely operational at least, so that we can go and ride it. And then the future is a big question mark. Oh, right, and the brake not working. Well, those only slow you down, so that's not an issue. I either have a spare one in a box somewhere, or we'll take one off the M78. I mean, that sled I only bought for parts anyway. That one was never a project sled. That's a wrap for now. Like and subscribe if you enjoy what you are seeing. I'd say tons of builds probably coming up. There's no snow. There's a little bit of snow in the mountains. A couple have been out. There's a little bit of snow in the mountains, and a couple have been out smashing rocks. I like that. I am for that. I'm going to work on swapping these sleds out. That's it. That's a wrap. That's a video. Remember to womp it with your friends and never alone, because see everybody in the next video. Lots of stuff coming. It's going to be fun.